Let's talk about the important one, character kits. So this character is probably the most important out of all of them, this Remembrance MC, because she's going to be given for free. She summons Mem, and Mem can give allies. So energy seems to be very important right now in Amphorius. And Remembrance MC is the pinnacle of all of them because we saw how game-changing Harmony MC was. So likely everything is going to be revolving around how this character brings. So that's why I always want to look at what the free character does, especially in Remembrance MC. It's very unusual because Honkai Star Rail seems to like making their main characters actually good, which I think is solid. So plays important role in combat. Notice that there's bottom on the left hand side, there's like nothing, no icon. Once you're able to summon her, it seems like she will get a certain life as well. Some people are saying in chat that it can be modified with shields. Maybe Fu Shen also will take some damage. We have to see. But importantly, you give Mem charges when allies regenerate energy, which you can see that meta likely is going to revolve around energy buffing, some sort of sustain for your overall team's energy. So characters like Huo Huo, characters like Ting Yun, all these kind of characters generally will benefit quite a bit more with this new information that we have. But you can also give Mem charges by using skill ultimate. Once full stacks, you can select one ally to support. So very similar to like Sunday's buff, it seems, Bronya's buff, it seems. And once you select this character, immediately you can push them up. And here's the fun part. Not only do you get the Bronya's buff, not only do you get like the other buffs that, for example, Sunday buff, but this interesting mechanic is now introduced in the game. They call it true damage, which for most of the sense, it does make a lot of sense for what true damage generally is. What they explained it is a similar mechanic to like super break damage that they are saying. It is also special by it ignores certain things. It's additional damage, as they mentioned. So you push your ally up, they take their turn, you do additional damage. And here's the important part. It ignores all buffs and debuffs on either team. This is very critical, which means because it might shift the meta away from harmony teams, buffing kind of teams, and debuffing kind of teams, like Nihility and stuff, to deviate away from harmony Nihility into a remembrance meta, turn-based manipulation meta. So characters that do massive buffs, that proc off your team, buff your team, debuff the enemy team, likely will not be benefiting in this new meta, and this is very critical. So we might see characters that ignore buffs, ignore debuffs, or enemies that also ignore buffs on your team. Shields are a buff, which means true damage can pierce shields. You might also get pierced by shields as well. We will see how it goes, but this true damage is very interesting. Some people are saying Sunday got power creep. I don't think so. As you see here, you are using two turn-based loopers together, and Sunday also gives nice energy. Over here, Huo Huo also gives very nice energy. So I think this team will be like the mainstay team for the early part at least of Remembrance until we have 3B coming up, who is a Harmony character, who maybe has some connection to do with part of Remembrance, buffing Remembrance characters as well. For now, this is likely going to be mainstay. They work very well with each other, pushing up Aglaea as we can see. And you can see here in this very quick section to see generally how it functions. Unfortunately, the enemy doesn't have a shield rather, but you can see buffs, pushes her up, and then now she like penetrates him. Wait, that sounds wrong. So you can see like there were really small instances. You can see this slightly bluish, slightly pinkish things here. That's the additional true damage that is being procced. It does seemingly a random amount because I have crit damage here of like 4150, which probably is buffed by something. And then you have true damage that perhaps is a smaller instances that scales off with attack. So maybe attack is going to be meta in future, where you need a very high base attack characters that scale off of like flat stats. Like you have a lot of flat stats to begin with, a lot of inbuilt percentage. So 5-star light cones, all these kind of stuff will benefit a lot of true damage. Maybe. This is again very early days, but that's like some important thoughts. Let's talk about the other two characters, the other new characters as well. For those of us who can't really recall, Aglaea is a 5-star lightning remembrance character. She's a limited character, not added to standard, unfortunately for us. So she has this mechanic where Aglaea and the puppet fight together, like the marionettes in Zenless Zone Zero. This is like a duet kind of thing. So she pokes the enemy once, and then your marionette also follows up and like does an attack. Follow up, I don't know whether it's a follow-up attack, but it's a combo. They work together. So it appears that they act independently and stuff like that. So what this means that they mentioned over here is she can get attacked. The marionette, as you can see over here, the marionette, which has this HP bar on the bottom left, got attacked, and Aglaea also got attacked. So it kind of like shares a slot. As you can see, you have 5 members on your team, Marionette and Aglaea on one of them. So AoE does affect. I wonder whether single target it can like draw aggro, and what happens if she dies as well, the Marionette dies. Does she revive or something? We need more official content for that. Once we have the full kit out and when we get testing done, we will share with you shortly as well. But that's an interesting mechanic that we are going to see as well. After Garment Maker attacks enemies, it has like some speed increase. After Aglaea uses her ult, Aglaea's speed will also increase. Seems to be a very DPS character. Looks to be a quite single target as well. Is it single target? Let's see. It does seem like a decent... It just seems quite a solid Remembrance DPS. So she's going down of a DPS Remembrance route instead of like a support sustain kind of class. Will she be critical in Remembrance teams? Will she be meta? That is... we will need more information. But if they are releasing a DPS in 3.1, I think likely she will stay relevant for quite a while. Every character that's released in like the second part tends to be a bit longer. Faster they get, the more damage they deal. So a speed scaling character as well. Hanya is on her banner, so speed is vital for Aglaea and Garment Maker. Let's go on to Herta. Emanator of Erudition, Madam Herta, the Herta. Ice type Erudition, super solid. First half of 3.0. She scales off with the number of Erudition characters that you have. Herta can apply like special marks to this target. You see the numbers on their head. Those are like the number of marks. You can go, like you can see here, this one is now like 8. Deal damage based on the number of stacks you have. So the 8 one will get higher damage and stuff like that. I believe it goes up to 42. They mentioned it here, right here, I think. Stacking limit up to 42 stacks. It's crazy, 42 stacks. The question is like, how do we gain the stacks? As long as she's in the team, all allies can apply stacks by hitting them. Which means AoE, multi-hitting teammates that act a lot, get a lot of stacks. And when there are other characters following Erudition, the damage there will be even higher. So she's the Akirion of Erudition. Which means that any Emanator that they release in future might be going down this route of like one Emanator, one category, one Emanator, one category. Which I think is nice for longevity in the game. Then you don't have too much power creep. They just like niche down and focus on certain ones. I think my bet is this character is going to be fundamental. So they mentioned something about like the stacks choice and all of that. But this stacks choice, let's not wrap our heads around it too much. We will touch more once we have the testing done, official content. But basically is they are able to like sort the stacks intelligently so that you do the best amount of damage possible. Great for auto battlers like myself. So she's a DPS for sure. She's not a support. And it seems like she can be played with Herta and Herta. So she's much more seemingly free-to-play friendly than Akirion already. But I do think that likely maybe her best teams will involve other Erudition supportive characters like Jade. Importantly, a lot of people like this one here so far. A full map chest radar. This is like power creep to Topaz and Nambi, right? There is a free one that's coming in the game, but this is a nice quality and it looks really cool too. You can scan like every single stuff. You can use this technique to enter battle. Herta deal damage at each wave based on percentage of max HP. So you can also like shatter enemies. Master of the simulator universe. I would like to see whether it's like one shot on bosses or something like that. That'll be like pretty cool to see. Yeah, that's basically a summary of the 3 characters so far. We'll be putting up more guides for sure on like teams and stuff. Just a very, very quick general overview of the 3 of them.